I am so cold that I am shaking right now. Holy cow. And it's a good thing I got my Lady Moon hat on because I am like really cold. So hopefully like I settle down because I am literally vibrating. I'm so cold. I see Lady Moon, so let me go ahead and hopefully not like shake my. Hello, Laura. Holy cow. I'm so cold.
Hi.
I'm so glad I have your hat because I am freezing.
Really?
I made a huge mistake and I was eating some watermelon sorbet and maybe like it's just a little too cold in the house for that because I'm literally vibrating.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, hi.
Hi. How cold is it? Wait, it's cold there, I'm guessing.
It's probably right now like somewhere between like 30 and 42.
Oh no, that's too much. It's toasty warm here in LA.
You know,
So
I'm like literally shaking, which is so funny to think of all the amazing beanies we have that you've created, and yet you're in LA. That's great because
I know, right?
We are all about your beanies. But officially, hello.
Hello.
Laura, I'm Dina, co-owner of the Apothecary, and you guys that are coming from the Apothecary side, I want to welcome Laura, who is, we're a big fan of you. We have been carrying your deck, which I don't even know how long we've been carrying it now. It has to be for a couple of years, but
Yeah, a long
we'll
time.
look at that from Lady Moon, you guys, and we're so honored to have you come live with us and talk about all of your creations, your craft, your practice. So thank you for so much. And for all of you guys that are watching, once hi Danielle, the co-owner of the Apothecary with me, my business partner is on watching as well. So hopefully as soon as I stop vibrating.
No, I really appreciate you guys as well. And your support means everything. Your shop is amazing. You have so much. You have so many decks. And I really want to visit. You seem to be like a very popular staple in Amityville. So
thank you.
I've had a lot of people tell me, they got my deck or found out about my deck from your shop. So
awesome. Well, that's great. That's great. That's really great to know. Thank you for saying that. We really love curating, either, mass published. Obviously, we're going to have, bigger published creators, but we really love working with independent creator artists. It's really important to us. It's hard to start a business. It's hard to start a brand. It's hard to put yourself out there, and to be able to have your own unique voice and sort of send that into the world is so it's really great to see you doing that with your deck. Your deck is amazing. And so I just want to let everybody know this is definitely going to be more of an interactive talk as well. So pop your questions. We'll keep an eye out for if there's anything that you want to ask Laura. If you have a question about it along the way as we get going, please write it in the comments because that's sort of fun. But
please ask me anything.
Don't say
it's an AMA. Fuck it. Can I curse?
So we curse. I have a horrible potty mouth, so it's fine. So it's all good. I'm gonna throw some bombs out there also. So I don't know how old you are, and you don't have to tell me, but I feel like we have to.
37.
Okay, so you're a baby. I have like a good 11 years on you.
Thank you for saying that.
Feel the baby. Isn't it nice to be the baby?
Yes, I'm 37.
But you have great taste in music.
Yes. Yes. My music taste is very eclectic and diverse. And
I mean, I thought you were gonna. Yeah, I really thought you were gonna be just a scotch older because of some of the artists that you have represented in the Sirens of Song deck.
Right. No, I grew up wanting to be probably your generation, or these I listened to music that I couldn't go to the concerts because I was too young.
Okay.
Like, you know, I never went to a Garbage concert, or, you know, like I was too young to see Radiohead at the time, or like Beastie Boys, and like, you know, Rage Against the Machine, or like, you know, all the grunge, the grunge era stuff. Then that's a definite like point of expertise for me and my taste. There's a few things I really enjoy, but sort of it's just about the song itself and the music itself. It doesn't really I don't really have a specific boundary in that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. So for those of you that are watching and don't know, Sirens of Song Tarot is, and
I have it too.
Yeah. I had the other, I don't know if I had, this is what, your third, is this your third edition?
Yeah, it's my third. I sort of just, I think this is the one that'll stick for a while, but it is the third time I've put it. Yeah, it is the third edition of the deck.
I think I have a first edition, and I was trying to find it somewhere in my house, but I don't know where. So this is the shop copy. But for those of you that are like, what's going on? Who are these people? Laura, amongst many other things, is the creator of Sirens of Song Tarot. So can you give us a little bit of the idea behind when the light bulb went off for you? How did you come to this? Is to pick not only 78 artists, but 78 songs, and then narrow it down to 78 lyrics. And then it's a lyrical interpretation of every tarot card in the 78 card deck. So how did you get this idea, and like how long did it take? Because holy cow, this is like a project.
It definitely does. Anyone who's designed a tarot deck rather than like an oracle deck where you have a lot of control over how many cards you make, there's no rules with oracle. It's sort of whatever goes, which is fun, and I have done that. But a tarot deck is a set amount of cards and set meanings, which is fun. I'm not someone who super likes creative boundaries, and personally, like music is my everything. I am a musician in a lot of ways. I'm a musical theater kid. Like I worked professionally in musical theater. I'm a performance artist by training, and before I started my brand, that's what I did. And I was an actor and things like that. So performing and singing and doing karaoke with my family and things like that are very much ingrained in me. And music has always been the most deeply personal thing that as a creative like that I connected to. Like it's very like in for me. And so I think I don't know exactly when I thought about when to make a tarot musical, but for me, like when I was young and when I would use music as divination without knowing I was doing that.
Shuffle playlist. That's what you're doing. You're doing divination.
You don't know what's going to come up, and what comes up affects you in some sort of way, and it guides you in some sort of way, or whatever you want, you know. And when you're young and you do that, or when a song comes on the radio and it's just like the right place, right time. Like magic is I was gonna say magic is magic. Music is magical inherently. Like song, dance, performance is a spiritual currency.
Yeah.
In many cultures, in all magical cultures, really, in some sort of way. And there's a reason for that. And it's just the way the sounds hit our bodies and things. And that's getting very but I don't know when I started. I just thought I wanted to do something different. I like to make things that don't exist yet, or that I think should exist, because it amuses me selfishly as an artist. Like that's what I like doing. And I was like, oh, how cool would it be to interpret the set meanings of tarot as a song? Because I love interpreting things and assigning meanings to things, and it sounded really fun. And it was like a lot easier than I thought, not in terms of time, because I did make, I had to make spreadsheets and things, but in terms, sometimes they would just come to me, like so how the deck's set up now is that each major card is a portrait of an artist as the card. Like there's a face. Yeah, like that's Lauryn Hill's The Wheel of Fortune, and the song is Everything is Everything. And then the minor cards are like the suits variated, and then that's a chalice, and then they're sort of like the suits are interpreted in like the swords are like the swords are microphones, and the wands are drumsticks and things like that, so they're musical.
So fun.
But then the court cards are also that's something I added for this edition, was the court cards are also artists, because I learned more about court cards in just one of my best friends is an amazing tarot reader, Caitlin Grania is an amazing reader. So I myself am not, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyways, that's sort of the fun part of it, was doing all that. And so setting that up was fun with me as a novice reader, but a very creative person. I wanted something that I could immediately look at the card and be like, the Hermit, okay, that's Bjork. The song is It's Oh So Quiet. Oh, I get it. Like I immediately understand from the song, because I connect to the song and know the song, what the card means, sort of. So when I'm reading for myself, I don't have to go, okay, the Hermit, shit, what's the Hermit? The Hermit, and I don't, as someone who's not a professional reader and doesn't aspire to be, that helps you clue into the meanings. And also the songs themselves, like a lot of tarot and reading tarot, what I've learned from my friends who are readers is the reaction of how you react to the imagery and to the card itself, like, and not so much just the set meaning is always the set meaning. So I thought, well,
like you bringing these songs and the lyrics to to the actual card, it changes the whole dynamic, really. And so it doesn't, so I think that's what's so amazing about it, especially if it's a song or a lyric or an artist that you're personally connected to. It adds so much color above and beyond what the Rider Smith Waite definition is, because music is the soundtrack of our lives, and it's what connects us. So, I can, I'm looking at, I'm looking at the star, and I'm seeing Dolly Parton, and it's just like all the feelings that I have about Dolly Parton, it comes tumbling to the front of my mind, is my point. So it's such a wonderfully brilliant idea to like layer meaning.
Yeah, it really is. Even the way you can, like, if you pull like I've seen people pull spreads and then read just the top lyrics across the cards, and like it's wild, like the words and music, and like it just, like you said, it connects us, and everyone has a different, like one song to someone might be their favorite song, and then another, it might remind somebody of like the time right after someone died and they got in the car and they heard that song, like it could be a really happy song, could be a really sad song to someone else. But I mean, but I definitely took into account what the cards are supposed to mean, and then sort of went from there. And then you do that, and then you think, oh shit, I should have used this for this card, and then that's why I've made 3 editions of this deck, because it's really fun. I am very happy where they are right now. But
I really wish I was able to get that first edition that's somewhere in this house, because I wanted to see what sort of swapped out. Now, do you have the Spotify playlist for all 3 of the editions?
I think I need to add the third edition songs on there, but yeah, you know what? I should separate them. I just put them all in one playlist, but I think I need to separate them. That would be fun.
Yeah, because when we first brought your deck to the shop, so to put it all out there, as your older Generation X sister that saw most of the bands that you referred to live, back in the grunge
That's
era.
amazing. My husband is 8 years older than me, so yeah,
you get it.
I'm very, very jealous.
Yeah, and it wasn't only, and it's so funny. That's why I really did think you were older, because I'm like, so much of this music is like that time. But so many of the artists that you selected are like firebrands in their own right, that they shook up the status quo and the norm. And it has like such an amazing, like they have an amazing feeling to them. So I think when we saw that you had the playlist, we were on that playlist. Let me tell you, we were like, such a great playlist. So like, we need to get this down. This is amazing. And it's so funny. We had gifted your deck to Brian Orlando, who's a radio personality.
He reached out to me.
Yeah, 94.3 The Shark. I slid into his DMs. He's amazing.
That's so sweet that you did that. He was like one of my favorite like people reaching out, because usually, I don't get a lot of men reaching out, typically. And he was so nice and really loved the Lane Staley card. And I love Alice in Chains. Like, I love Alice in Chains. And so I made Lane, and he's in all 3 decks, is the Hanged Man. Yeah. And I love Alice in Chains, like a lot. Yeah. And so we sort of talked about that, but it was really cool that he connected to it. It was really cool. He liked it.
It was, I had seen him, pulling cards and doing these really deep dives. He's on right now. There he is. We were just talking about you, Orlando.
How's it going?
We were just talking about you. Yeah. And, so I had seen Orlando do a tarot card pull where he just obviously his knowledge of music is so broad and so deep, and he did this deep dive into the lyric, and I forgot what the card was that I first saw him. I was like, I have to get this deck in his hands, because it's like amazing. And now he's a friend of the shop, and we've done events together. He's guest read. So it's funny how awesome. The love of tarot and the love of music, and the love of magic and the love of the divine, like really pulls us all together. So it was really amazing. So talk to me, if you can. This is a really horrible question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I don't care.
Because I know you already said Alice in Chains and Lane. So, but
God, you're going to ask me.
What's your favorite card of the deck? Like, what's the first, like, I know that you must have had a lightning bolt of inspiration come into your brain where it was like, this card is this song, and it was like, poof, I should do this.
It was probably The Hermit. It's probably Bjork. Okay. I mean, like, like Bjork and the song It's Oh So Quiet. It was just like, that makes so much sense to me. And that's why the ones that really were like the oh shit moments for me were like the ones that are through all 3 decks. The ones I didn't change, like Lane, Bjork, Dolly. What else haven't I changed? There's the High Priestess is Stevie Nicks. Like, there is no, like, the ones that I couldn't bear to, like, the Courtney Love is the devil. Like, there's just no one else that is the devil. I'm sorry. Like, it's Courtney Love, and it's Hole, and I love Hole. Oh my God, I fucking love Courtney Love
too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If I could sing like because I have a very like pretty high voice. Like, if I could sing like Courtney Love, that's who I would want to sing like, is Courtney Love. My God.
I mean, I know. I absolutely, I can picture myself. And that's the other thing, right? So like, you hear a song, it puts you it gets you, you hear the lyric, you see the artist, it puts you in this time, this time and place, but it takes you back. Like I could see myself 19 years old behind the wheel of my 89 Cutlass Supreme screaming hole as I was driving home, like from like making out with some boy.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. That's
like
the thing.
that's where I go.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. The thing is, like, I know I'm young, but like I'm sort of the last generation that didn't have like a cell phone all the time and the internet. So I grew up without the internet, and like the moments when I was really present in my life were with music. I felt like when you were like, just you, like you said, like those experiences with just sort of being really present and really into a song. And like these songs that have like, I remember songs from like my junior high dances where like I was dancing with a boy I liked, and it was like Monica's Angel of Mine. And it was just like, I can still feel those feelings because of that song. And it's just, you know, it's very nostalgic. Music is like imprinted on our psyches, even when there's like people that have like dementia and Alzheimer's, like music is still, music therapy is a thing because it sticks with us. So it is divine, and tarot's cool, and so they make a great pair. They really do.
It's so, I absolutely adore it, and I adore you, and I don't even know you, but like
Oh,
you have
hi,
to
it's okay. You can be
to
friends.
come
You know
to
me
come
now.
up with something like this.
Thanks. I have very good taste in music. It's
you definitely do. So you could be an honorary member of Gen X. That's okay.
Thank you. I married up so that I could be a member of. I literally married someone from Gen X. So I desperately want to be like you. That's it.
I mean,
Truly.
listen, we had a great childhood, and I have to tell you, like, I love going to shows, and not trained in musical theater or anything like that, but we are a huge music family over here.
Yeah.
My mom is a professional working musician, so I grew up like you know, roadieing for her when I wanted to borrow the car.
That's amazing.
She plays bass and sings, and I'd be like, "I'll bring in your amp if I could take the Mazda."
That's
and,
so cool.
So we so going to shows has always been my thing, and I have to tell you, you guys in the whoever's watching or watches the replay from the younger generation, you all don't do concerts right. No. Because the constant filming ruins the cathartic experience of everybody vibing and being like a unit at the concert. Like that's what it was about, right? It was being together and experiencing the performance together. And then the performers would bare their souls on stage, and you'd get that thing and you'd be a part of it. And now everybody's videoing it to so other people can consume it. So you're getting validation from others about where you were by association. Like honestly, who gives a shit? Like you're fucking ruining live music and performances.
It's very odd. I try to, and I feel myself wanting to do that. And if I'll limit myself to like one little snippet of something, and then I put it away. Like it's such a weird time we live in. It's such a weird time. It's such a weird time. I still am like, wow, this is weird, you know? And as someone who like, you know, I don't want to like complain too much, but like, you know, I work on my phone all the time. And I wish I didn't. Like, I want to throw it into the ocean most of the time.
Well, I think that would be a good segue to your practice, because not only did you create this deck, and I know you have oracle decks that you did, which we don't carry, which we should carry, but you also have tons and tons of magical tools. You have a podcast. So you have a cool ass name. So
what?
You're like Lady Moon, like it's cool as hell. I'm always like, hi, I'm Dina
boring name.
No, I mean, hi, I'm Dina Rosenberg. I don't have a cool ass name, but you could just say, hi, I'm Laura, but I'm Lady Moon. Like, I feel like, you know, that's you. Right. But can you share with us like about your magical practice and how you use your magical practice maybe to ground you when the world is feeling like so digital and like Aquarian creepy? Not that Aquarians are creepy, but you know what I mean.
Get it. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It is hard. It's been hard to fight against the information station in front of my face. I've found that since I've started my brand, well, first of all, like I grew up being a witch on my own little corner, own little chair. Okay. Like that is just my thing, very personal. I wasn't taught or trained. I knew that that's what I was at a very young age once I figured it out, and like it just always has been there. And so when I started my brand, I've had to really balance out, like separate myself from my brand and make sure I have time to myself to do those things. And it's been hard. It's hard to do. It's not the way it was when I was a kid. It wasn't, I'm not a magical, like I'm not a witch influencer that like shares her altar and shares how to do spells and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's like has their own thing. It's just not for me to share my personal magic because I need a lot of personal space. I have a lot of cancer placements, so I need a lot of I learned recently. I need to like I need a lot of time for myself. But that's what the podcast is for. You know, like I do have a podcast with my good friend Caitlin called Third Eye Bind, like Third Eye Blind, but not it's Third Eye Bind. So yeah, again, a musical reference. And that's where we sort of talk about witchy things and such. But yeah, I know it's really hard. I would say the answer is I'm still figuring it out, to be honest with you.
Same. You know, you put out a ton of, your altar spaces, like your altar spell spaces, your bigger spell spaces, which are everybody.
I love them.
They're so gorgeous. They're so like the artwork, so beautiful. And then recently, the different goddesses. Do you work with all of those deities? Are you bringing onto the line those artists, I'm still on bands, those deities that you work with, or are you like some you work with, some it's like for the larger, audience?
Yeah. They're the ones that I have now are deities that I am familiar with. Some of them more intimately than others. And some of them, like Hecate, you'd think, oh yeah, Laura's super like connected to Hecate and that energy. I respect and love, but it wasn't like a main dig of mine. But everyone else really wanted Hecate and like the collective energy of like, I'm making not only these things for me, I'm making them for my audience and my customers. And so my rule is like, because I actually do like take it very seriously. I don't approach a deity or start drawing for a deity or whatever unless I feel like it's the right time. And I do it with respect because I mean, it's just how I work. And so I waited a while to do that. And then when I was like, okay, this is good, I'll sort of like mentally ease my way into it and then do it. And then, everyone was really happy about that. So it's not just for me. Some things are for other people, but I love doing it, like I haven't made an Artemis blanket, but that's like, but, I started to do these things and then I had like Venus be like, excuse me. And I was like, okay, because that's like another like big one for me. But yeah, I was like, well, clearly I need to do this before I get to Artemis, like, so it was like sort of like whatever vibes I'm in, that's what I do. So, but yeah.
Katie, who works with us, is asking, will you be making Lilith? Because she also asked me, although here she is watching, she's like, please ask if there will be Lilith. I'm like, I will ask.
I take requests, honey. I take requests. I do. I like input about the things that I make that are tools for, I like input in general, but like, sure. I think that's great.
Well, there you go,
Yeah.
Katie. You have your
Yeah.
answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
So
beautiful energy. Absolutely.
we absolutely, so the spell spaces that before you made like the altar ones, which also we've been wearing on our heads, of
Yeah.
course, obviously, as
Yeah.
a head covering.
They're
Amazing.
bandanas. Yeah.
For us, because where we are, it's such like a coastal beach community. They're so wonderful at the beach because
Yeah.
for so many of us Long Islanders, they'll give you the accent.
Yes.
The beach is a sacred place for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the places where, I go, and I know so many of us go to really connect with earth and cycles and movement and just the nature of this crazy planet we find ourselves on without the noise of everything around
Mm-hmm.
us. Oh no, now Vinny's throwing in a request: black beanie with navy blue nicks with some eyeballs. Here,
I noted.
Bella, and then Bella says yes, nicks.
That is good to know. Thank you. I love the ocean is my cosmic center.
Yeah.
I guess it's Venus and the ocean, and it's something I like respect and also fear very greatly. I don't go jump in it, but I love it from a distance.
Yeah.
And I'm from California, my whole born and raised, and like I'm not a beach bunny. I'm very white and pale, and I burn very easily. But right. I'm not that type of beach bunny, but I do love the ocean, and I love that the ocean has different parts of it. Mm-hmm. And like when I go to the East Coast, it's like a different friend. It's like a different face of it. It's so cool.
Isn't it so different, the oceans? Because I remember the first time I was in LA, and then we took like a beach trip to Huntington Beach, and I was like, this ocean is just wild.
Yeah, have you been to Miami?
I have been to Miami. It's not my most favorite place, which I know people do love Miami.
But the ocean, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, our beaches suck big time. Like, what the fuck? Our, like, California beaches are like cold, rocky, murky.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But, Miami, I was like, oh, okay, first of all, the sun is setting in the wrong place. Yeah. Secondly, oh my God, water is so clear and beautiful. And I was like, wow, I was swimming in it. It was lovely.
Yeah, the Florida beaches are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
and
but I love it.
They're absolutely gorgeous. And then, I mean, I do have to say, our beaches up here,
what is it like?
I've
never been.
So New York beaches, New York and New Jersey beaches, although I'm going to get some shit for this, because I'm going to say that Southern Jersey, people are going to be like, this is fighting words for Long Islanders to actually say that Southern New Jersey beaches are better than Long Island beaches, but they sort of are, because it's, a good amount of miles south, still obviously same body of water, but you just get a lot more dolphins in the beach. Bella said, ew, no. I'm telling you, Bella, you gotta, like, I'm telling you, South Jersey. But, big waves, but also like it could be a smooth glass day where you could see your feet, and then it'll be murky and big waves and very violent. So it's constantly changing, the Atlantic Ocean. It's, you could go from one day in the morning and then go later that night, and it's a completely different experience once the tides sort of come in and come out. And it's, because I am a Long Island girl, born and raised, and I grew very, very close to the beach, and we didn't really have a lot of money, but the summer beach pass was something that was accessible for us. And, so that was my camp. That was where I went with my mother every single day in the summer. If it was nice out, we were at the beach because it's what we could afford. So much of like my magical work and the anecdotes that I, use to interpret you know, either tarot or crystals or the world around me is through the metaphor of ocean.
Yeah.
The cycles of ocean, of you know, just tides always changing, oceans always changing, the ocean always looking different. You know,
Yeah.
struggling in the ocean and drowning if you get caught up in a rip current, like all of that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's, I mean, they're beautiful, they're peaceful, they're violent, they're to be revered. They're all of the things, and I think the metaphor is like, so are we. We're all the things too, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And that's the moon for me in conjunction with the ocean, because they're like connected. Is the moon. I shouldn't say the ocean is my only center, but the moon is like, would like talk to me, and I'm not kidding. Like, that sounds a little crazy, but like, it's true. That drew me into who I am today. That's why my business is called that, and that's why I love the ocean. It's just like a presentation of the moon here on Earth, almost, with how it moves. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
It's rad. And those are the things, to go back to what you're asking me, that keep me grounded, literally, is nature. And those, and when things get, like, just talking about it right now, I'm like, oh, I feel better, you know, like, things are insane right now. And just taking those little nuggets of joy where we can get them, I think, is important. And for witches, a lot of the time that's outside. You know.
Yes, absolutely. So Danielle, co-owner of the Apothecary, is asking if you could speak a little bit more to your inspiration behind the spell spaces, the spell blankets, and how that came to be, because, like, really an ingenious idea.
Yeah, I was thinking, I have a terrible memory, but my practice being so personal when I was growing up, I like things that, because I'm not a person that's like, oh, you have to be called this and this and this, or call yourself a witch. I don't care what you do, as long as if you're magical, like, you're magical. Like, everyone is magical. And if you want to keep that to yourself, fine. If you want to start a business, fine. Like, your magic is not reflective of how much you share about it, or how much you're openly outward about it. Period. End of story. Like, I don't care. You can fight me. And I don't care. And like, so the spell spaces to me are like, you know, portable ritual centers that you can take out into the world, or you can stow it away. You can go to the beach by yourself. It's your beach blanket. It's inconspicuous because, you know, people still don't like witchcraft a little bit nowadays. And you can bring it. It's your towel. You can go camping with it. It's something that you can take with you and have, that is a reminder of your magic, like, of your identity. Like, whether you, like, take it to the beach, or just like put it under your bed, or just take it out to do work and then put it away, you know, like, it was just something easy that could, I think honestly too, practically, like, I think I saw my manufacturer had round towels, and I was like, I like round towels. Oh, that reminds me of a pentagram. Oh, and then it just sort of, like, design wise stumbles. It just stumbles that way. And then the idea of a protective circle is something that I've kept with me throughout my practice. There's things that I learned from certain things and threw away and kept, but the idea of creating a protective space around yourself, or something like that, is something I still do. So having a literal manifestation of it is also good for people if they're beginners, if they're learning how to, like, sense that around themselves energetically, like seeing it written out, having something they can read aloud in front of them, even though it was written by somebody else. Like, that's why the first one I made was very generic, right? It was very like, protective space, because I didn't put, you know, I didn't want to project certain deities or whatever. I wanted to just be very, like, fill in the blank, you know, literally.
Right.
So.
But you know what? I think for people that, you know, we get stuck on this conversation, or this part of the conversation about, you know, craft and practice a lot, because we spend so much of our time going to school, whether it's, you know, like up through high school, or if we learn further, college, advanced degrees, professional certifications, whatever, we're so used to learning. We're so used to having people tell us what to do.
Right.
So so a lot of times when people, are getting into craft,
Yeah.
and developing their practice, it seems like, it's not, although some of it is like very structured, and is, can be structured within a religion. But some people, especially the people that we see in our shop, it's really, they're solitary practitioners. It's very loose because they want to break free from the constraints of defined dogmatic practice. But then you find yourself, when you take those shackles off, like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do, and who do I trust, and where do I go?
Yeah.
So I know, like, having just that beautiful invocation and rhyme around that protective spell space, it almost like takes the pressure off a little bit. It's like a great jumping off point.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I was actually just thinking about that the other day, about, because a lot of what I want to do, or what I try and do, is encourage people to trust themselves, and trust, for whatever reason, I've always been able to do that very easily. Like I probably, because I just did it on my own since I was a little kid. So I've learned to practice my discernment and know what's good for me and what's not. But it is a very, very scary time for getting sucked into a cult, into a multi-level marketing scheme. Like, it's hard to trust people, and I want people to trust themselves, and I want them to know that they are powerful. And it is so hard for so many people to just, like you said, let go of like the Western education sort of like very binary way of like, but I need someone to tell me what to do. And that's okay. And there's very, very good mentors out there if you can find, and there's nothing wrong with having a teacher or a mentor. It's just like, for me, it's always making sure that people understand that their practice is their practice, and it's personal, and they have the power, and like encouraging that. That's the most important thing, like, to me, that an educator can provide to a student of magic, is teaching them how to trust themselves, really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think
agree.
your tools do it's just like enough of a jumping off point where, you could take a spell space, or you could take an altar cloth, and you say, okay, this makes sense. I understand this. And
Yeah.
I can go forward with this, right?
Yeah.
Because listen, I don't know if you watched that whole Amazon Prime 4-part series on the twin flame cult people.
Bitch. Yes, I did. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to talk about twin flame universe. Okay. Oh, fuck.
Right?
What?
So you guys, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, on Amazon Prime, there's a 4-part series called Twin Flame Universe about this like spiritual cult thing.
They're cults.
Yeah.
They're insane. It's wild time. A spiritual cult.
Yeah. But like, the scary part about it, Laura, is that when I was watching it, I'm like, these people are reminiscent to people that I see all fucking over the place.
Yeah.
All fucking over the place.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, people, first of all, there's so many, I hate using the term bad actor, but like people that are like super compelled to get into anything where they're like, they see a lot of money, or the perception of being able to make money easily. And I see so much of that type of language, and all over the place.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
I don't even know. I was like, there's an episode we did on the podcast about twin flames, if anyone wants to go listen to it. That was before this documentary came out. We're going to do a part 2.
You have to.
Because we both watched it, and we were like, okay, we have to do another episode. Yeah. I'm like, do I have to talk about yeah, I do. Because these people are predatory in a way that the most audacious way, where I'm like, how can you be that confident in what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're Looney Tunes. Like, I can't, that's scary. That scares me because I'm not a person that's like, I'm a pretty humble person, which I think is a great trait to look for in a mentor, in a leader, is the reluctant leader is a good one, because they're not going to try and like convince you that they're Jesus. Like, it's, you guys have to watch it.
No, it you know, and it
was insane.
It's just like, you know, praying. Okay. When you own a metaphysical shop, when you have a physical brick and mortar location, you get to see people that come in that are in such pain, are so lost, and have so much shit going on in their lives. And what worries me is that, and I'm going to give you an example. 2 weeks ago, some of the people that are watching know exactly where I'm going, because it literally was like this poor kid walked through the door, and I might have just like finished watching the last episode of Twin Flame Universe.
Oh no.
And the kid comes in and he's like, I need you to make a candle for me.
Oh.
And so I'm like, okay, about what? Like, what gives? Like, and he had his name and birthday and a girl's name and the birthday. And I'm like, okay, so tell me about the candle. Like, I might have been, I'm going to use one of my father's lines. I might have been born at night, but I wasn't born last fucking night. What do you want the candle for? Right? I'm not just going to carve some fucking candle. So he's like, well, I'm in it. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm in a twin flame situation. I go, okay. Like,
Lord.
Again, what's going on? Like, why do you feel you need to do this candle? Like, what is it? Like, okay, let's wave the magic wand. I make the candle burns. You get everything that you wish for. What are you wishing for? What's going to happen? You know, he goes on and on. I need clarity. She lied to me. And I'm like, if she's a liar, then why do you want to be in a relationship with her? Sounds like you have her answer. She's a liar.
Right.
If you're saying she's lying to you and she hurt you and broke your heart, I think you're good, bro.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot.
It's a lot. And like, you know, we find ourselves in these situations where, you know, I said to him, listen to me. I'm old enough to be your mother. And if you were my child, I would say to you, do you have a therapist, or who are you speaking with that you can trust? Because you're going to walk into a shop like this and you're going to walk into the wrong one, and somebody's going to take advantage of you and fleece you for a couple of $100 and like go like this, because they're going to know. And that's like what happens all the time. And it's so sad.
It's the lowest thing that it makes me sick that people can take advantage of emotionally vulnerable people through a pseudo spiritual lens. It makes me sick that it just is. It's disgusting. And that goes for like a lot of organized religions too. You know, we don't have to get into that, but like, it's just really, I don't know. It's wild.
It is. And you know, you can understand why people, you know, you with all of your cancer placements, you know, it's like, to be safe, like you don't feel safe. And like the world has been, I think, especially since COVID, like so helter skelter. And it's, you know, people don't even know where the fuck to turn anymore. And I think, like, to your point of like trusting yourself and learning to trust yourself.
You have to. We talk a lot on the podcast about discernment. It is your right and wrong. Like, you have to discern and sift through things and think about them before you act. You have to, in the spiritual community nowadays. You have to. It's just too much. And I mean, I didn't even think about that. Like, what having a physical shop must be like for you to actually, you know, there's people in front of you every day. Like, that's wild. That's a whole nother set of like situations.
People are in front of us every single day, and I would say it's 50-50. You know, people are coming in happy and you know, their life is going great, but then there are people that are in these really tough human being experiences that we all find ourselves in, right? And it's our duty and our responsibility, and why we created the apothecary, to hold space for them to be able to work through it themselves. You know, it's not for us. Like, we can only give them the tools and say, you could try this. But there are many times where I have people that are coming in and like, what can I buy? I'm like, nothing. Get the hell out of here. You don't need anything. You
Yeah.
know, you don't need a tool. You are just already strong exactly as you are.
Yeah, that's great. And that's great that you do that, you know, because not all shop owners do that. And, you know, there's a lot of them in LA that are just shells.
Yeah. I think
plainly.
I think for Danielle and I, you know, loudest phone in the world. I think for Danielle and I, we've always want to leave people better than how they were when they walked in. And even if it's just like saying, hey, like, we know, we've been there, we've gone, you know, I said to that poor kid that obviously like experienced his first heartbreak. I said, listen, kid, we all got our hearts ripped out, thrown on the floor, and fucking like stomped on.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't happen to you, you're not living life, man. Like,
yeah.
So that's how it is. Like, when you want to love, you get the shit kicked out of your heart a couple of times, maybe a couple dozen. Right. So it's, we, like Danielle said, we don't want to see people preyed upon, and it's hard to find people that are honest, you know, that are like,
very, very hard.
Whatever.
Very hard.
So it's so funny. I was like shuffling for a minute as I was talking to you, and it's so funny. Like, I think like the deck like wanted to speak to you, back to you, because the hermit did that for you.
That's so funny. That I love that card. Yeah, it is interesting. I have a lot of Cancer placements, but they're not my main placements. Like, I'm a double Gemini and a Taurus rising. So I have a lot of yeah. Thank God I have the Taurus rising. So yeah.
You'd float away otherwise.
Yeah. Are you like a Capricorn? No.
I'm a Cap rising. So okay. I'm a Libra sun.
I was like, I think I like you. It's not a bad thing. I'm like, I think she's a Capricorn. That's so funny.
So I'm a Libra sun, a Leo moon, and a Cap rising.
Yes, that's great. So you're
not
shy at all.
Not shy. I mean, I was actually painfully shy as a child. Like, I was hiding behind my father's legs. Like,
I was too.
Very shy.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's also it's also age. I think, you know, my mom always said that too. Like, especially like as you get older and you put yourself out there, and you know, you get made fun of, or like you don't know what the fuck you're doing or who you are or whatever. As you start to get more comfortable with yourself, like my like when I was your age, it was great. I tell you, like, I am like on the freeway cruising at 48 right now, like loving it, like so good. And I tell you, I love the beanies because this is exactly how I dressed in the 90s. So
it's very crone energy too. That's what you're talking about.
No, it's true. It's crone energy, and
love it.
And you know, as a little kid, you watch the stupid Disney movies and the fucking Snow White witch with the apple, and she's ugly as fuck. Like, we have like a horrible, like that poor lady. But anyway, we have like such a bad, like, now I'm feeling bad for her. My Libra just came out. See it through her eyes.
Oh no. Besides,
you know, gotta do it. But, you know, even still, like the word crone, like growing up, my mother would be like, you know, or my grandmother would be like, oh, that's just an old crone or whatever. Like, crone for me isn't like the most comfortable term.
Yeah.
At all. Like, I don't want to be a crone.
Yeah.
Now it's so funny though. But what I love about it is now all the younger people that are getting into the practice and the understanding of, you know, maid and mother crone, like, they're empowering crone.
Yeah.
And it's changing like literally the neuro-linguistic connections in my brain as I like continue to sit with it.
I love that. It's very true. I love it. I want to get old.
I mean, don't rush it, because your body does get fucked up, but
like, it's hopefully it'll get even better. I give a lot of less fucks as I get older, for sure. It's been nice. It's been nice.
It definitely is true to be able to sort of like pave your own path and not give a shit. And I think allowing yourself to age and change and grow is actually magical and witchy as fuck.
It is,
quite frankly. It is, right?
A lot of people, they're crone and hag and all these like slurs for old cool women or people are being. That's how we reclaim it. Is I put it on a fucking beanie and it's cool.
Yeah,
you know,
it's awesome. It's totally awesome. So, guys, any questions? Because that was like the fastest hour in the world.
Oh, wow.
Want to be.
That was it.
I know. I don't know, but also like time has been doing that thing lately where it's like very fast.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's just like in one.
I don't even know where I am. It's fine. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Listen, don't feel bad because today I got a phone call at 2:07 and it was my daughter and she's like, "Mom," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's Tuesday and I forgot to pick you up from school."
Oh no.
I mean, she's a senior. She should be fucking driving herself there and back. She has a license, but I guess I guess it's because I'm cool and she still wants to spend time with me. So I was like, oh my God. But nice. Dude, totally forgot. Like I looked at Danielle, I was like, it's 2:07 and I forgot to get my kid. Amazing. Aww. So, it happens.
It happens.
Oh my God. So, Bella said, leave Maddie alone. I will leave her alone all the time. She's an amazing kid.
Oh.
But we wanted to thank you for being so awesome. You guys, we actually just ordered so much Lady Moon
thank you
product because every single day Laura released an email of all of the new product, and every single day all the Amityville Apothecary employees were like huddled around the laptop looking for the latest email from Lady Moon to see what product was going to be dropping. And then all of a sudden there was a list of all of the things that everybody wanted. And then they like they're like, oh my God, we need to get these things. I'm like, well, just send her an email, like ask her, what we could get. So we have so much amazing Lady Moon Co merch coming. So like,
yes, you do.
Get excited. Yes. Aww. I don't know where we're putting it all. So, but we love it. We love you. We love your deck, you guys. We have the deck available in shop. We have spelt. I think we might only have the crone beanie left until we get the restock. And I know we have literally maybe only like 3 spell spaces left of the big ones. We have the altar cloths, just a handful. And I have to tell you, your little frog plushie, my dog was very upset about it that I didn't give her one. She was very upset. She would look at the shelf where those little frogs were and bark at the shelf. I'd be like, but it's mine. I want that baby. Yeah, she was really upset.
Them so much.
I know, they're really cute. But we have so much amazing stuff. So
thank you
for putting your creations into the world and allowing us to share in them and
so much.
Share them with everybody.
I mean, my whole day, it's a lonely life of an entrepreneur. So, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
And like giving me compliments.
You're welcome. Listen, if that's enough to keep you going, and if you ever need any inspiration, just DM the shop and ask to speak to to message with Katie and Vinny, because they'll give you the laundry list of the requests.
I'm gonna just have to call the shop and I'll just randomly and I would love to come visit next time I'm out.
Whenever you're in New York, we're about an hour train ride on like the Long Island Railroad commuter out of the city. Cool. We'll give you the drive by the Amityville Horror House. We'll give you the
oh my God, that's right, it's Amityville. It's not just
a
random town called
it's actually that
Amityville.
Yeah,
that's cool. Cool. All right, sounds good.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye. Bye.